is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the...
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, TKL, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. TKL and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suits your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 rounds and a Ric Flair.
Let's go! Let's go! Get up! Wake up! Let's go! It's time! Tennessee baseball, Alabama today. I'm ready to go this morning. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live from the Low T Center studio. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Let's go! Wake up! Get up! Let's go, Evan Russell. Gotta do the bunt. Gotta do the slap bunt. Pop, 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 pop.
That's actually a good bunt form.
Pop, 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 pop. Let's go. Got my kids bat. It's a little different than the bat you're used to, but it still gets the job done.
How nervous would you be to square around and bunt?
Oh, I'll be nervous.
Because you have to turn around with your whole body. And also, why do you have a Alabama license plate on the
floor?
floor?
This is for you to give to Tony Vitello.
Why would I get Tony Vitello an Alabama license plate?
Because. What's that first number there, Ben?
A 1.
What does that mean? Do you know that? It means that this is a Birmingham license plate.
Really?
Yeah.
Because there's a 1 in front?
The counties are, they have each county is assigned a number. So Huntsville.
In every state?
No, in Alabama. So in Alabama, 47 is Madison County. That's why you see all 47.
So that's why I have a 47 on my license plate.
Correct.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
See, you know more about your home state than supposedly I know about my supposed home state.
Interesting. I mean, you riding around with the Alabama license plate, not me.
Only because my parents are paying for the car.
Okay, cool. Whatever.
How much do you wish you had somebody paying for your car?
Oh, I wish somebody was. But hey, when you got 3 kids, a wife, and you're 36 years old, it's about time for you to start paying for everything. Your time is coming.
I know.
So the 1 in the front of the license plate means Birmingham. Now I don't know about all the counties. I do know Huntsville. I do know Birmingham. I do know Scottsboro when I see it because it's on the way to Huntsville from here. But I'm giving you this to give to Tony Vitello because now he's going to be spending a lot of time in Birmingham and he just wants to blend in with the folks in Alabama. So that way, his car doesn't get egged or keyed or anything since he does make the trip separately in his own car from the team. So you got to give this to Tony Vitello. It's old now. The new Alabama license plates are hideous and ugly. It's terrible.
Is it the one that I have?
Yeah, it's like green.
It looks better than that one.
No, it's like green.
That blue is ugly.
Green and yellow, just disgusting. But yeah, you get it to Tony, man. Maybe this will be a souvenir. Birmingham, because that's where we are today.
I'm on edge today.
In Alabama. No,
I'm on edge today.
Let me tell you something, Ben. This ain't the game to be tanking. This ain't the game to be not caring about getting ready for the World Series. You can do that after beating Alabama.
Well, I don't think
this is the Super Bowl for me.
If they win today and lose the rest of the tournament, I would be perfectly fine.
You're right. I'm cool. I'm totally cool. I'm totally cool. If you just win today and just just don't even worry about the rest of the tournament. Just get ready for
the regionals next week.
Exactly.
Look, I'm with you. My Bama buddies. As soon as Alabama beat Carolina yesterday, they were texting me, and I had my tweet informing the good people because I am a man of the people. I like to inform the people. So I was informing the great people of Twitter that Tennessee would be playing Alabama because Alabama mud-stomped South Carolina yesterday, 9-3, I believe was the final score. And they're already tweeting at me. My Bama buddies tweeting at me, texting me. Like, I'm telling you, Swain,
you gotta block
I am on edge in any time Tennessee plays Alabama. It brings out the worst in me.
I would have blocked them.
It brings out the worst in me. And I have a couple of buddies who are coming down on Thursday. So tomorrow they're coming down to Hoover for the Tennessee game, assuming Tennessee wins. If Tennessee wins, then they will play Mississippi State, assuming Mississippi State takes care of business. Mississippi State will play tomorrow around 3-4 o'clock Eastern. And one of my good buddies, who is the head coach at Grissom, the head baseball coach at Grissom.
Is he a Bammer?
No, he doesn't really have a school. He's a bandwagoner. That's what he is.
What is he, like 7?
He doesn't have a particular team. If he had to pick one, he's more of an Auburn guy. He doesn't root for Bama, but his brother plays at Mississippi State, so he kind of pulls for Mississippi State. But he loves Lane Kiffin, so he roots for Ole Miss football just because of Lane Kiffin.
Wow, why does he love Lane?
Because who doesn't love Lane? Lane's personality.
Because he's cool?
Yes, because he's cool. He's never really had a team, so he just kind of.
Man, people are simpletons.
I mean, he doesn't have a team, so it's not like he's.
I'll be nice to him since he is coaching at my school.
And he doesn't pull for Bama, so who cares who else he roots for?
I am representing Grissom underneath my Tennessee baseball jerseys today.
It is also more of a joke because he can't stand Gus Malzahn, so it's also been kind of more of a joke about wanting to get rid of Gus for the last couple of years. So he's been acting like he's an Ole Miss football fan. It's been one of those type of things.
So he's one of those fans.
Yeah,
he's like me when it comes to NBA basketball.
Yeah,
I'm a hobo.
Please explain.
I don't have a home. I don't have a team I root for.
Blake is.
So I just give you crap.
Blake's also the type that likes to pick a team when they suck. That way, when they get good, he could say that they were with them from when they were at the bottom. So he rooted for the Marlins when the Marlins were terrible. Now the Marlins have gotten kind of good, and he roots for the Marlins. He actually likes the Grizzlies.
Is he going to root for the Detroit Lions?
No. He don't have an NFL team as far as I.
He should root for the Detroit Lions.
He's also the type of friend. He's very much like you in the sense of he loves to root for the team that his that his friend's favorite team is playing against.
That's not true.
So if the Steelers are
fake
playing
news.
the Patriots, he roots for the Patriots.
No.
If the Yankees are playing the Rockies, he roots for the Rockies.
I've never done
he's
that.
He's very much
I've
like
never
you.
done that.
And that, please, you were wearing a Draymond Green jersey last Friday for the show.
I don't own a Draymond
On
Green
Sunday
jersey.
night, you were wearing a Rudy Gobert jersey because
one
they were simply
basketball
playing
jersey.
my Grizzlies. But here's my point. They're
get
coming
to
down. They're coming down. Well, you're the one that distracted me. They're coming down on Thursday to watch Tennessee, Mississippi State, assuming that both teams take care of business.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "You want to go to eat? You want to go get some food before the game?" I said, "Let me know how, or I'll let you know, depending on how today's game goes. Because I don't know that I want to be around y'all if Alabama beats Tennessee, because we may not be friends anymore after that."
Maybe I'm a bad friend, but I'm blocking my Bama friends if they hit me up talking junk. I don't got time for
Well,
it.
they weren't really talking junk. They
No,
were like
I know they're trying to set you up. They're trying to get you out in public.
eyeball emojis and
They trying to get you in public. That's when you get ready to break up with somebody, or you know there might be some drama. You take them to a public establishment. You fire somebody. Hey, meet me over there at the Starbucks. Hey, we decided to go a different direction. You take them out in public because they can't act a fool then. You dump them in public. Hey, we need,
or
it's not you, it's me. We just need to go in a different direction. I just don't see myself with you. I mean, but you do it at a public place because they're not gonna cause a scene in public. They're taking you, Ben. They're setting you up. They're taking you out public because if you're down there in Tuscaloosa,
Hoover. I'm not going to Tuscaloosa.
Hoover is an extension of Tuscaloosa.
No, it's not. Hoover is a nice place. Tuscaloosa is turd town.
Birmingham was an extension of Tuscaloosa.
Hoover's nicer than Birmingham.
That's true. So anyways, that is Bama territory.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking you out in public, and they know there's going to be nothing but Bammers around wearing Bama gear and saying Roja, doing all that. And it's going to make you uncomfortable. And you got to sit there and not say anything because you're going to be outnumbered. They're setting you up, Ben.
But
they ain't slick.
It's not going to make me feel uncomfortable if Tennessee wins. Because then
They setting you up, though, just in
Because
case.
then I can sit there knowing that I have the satisfaction of my team beating their stupid, crummy little team. That's all there is to it.
If Tennessee wins, you say, yes, I would love to go to dinner. Thank you for the invite. And you take off that Bryson Shambo shirt or whatever it is, that master shirt. You take that off, and I want you to put on some damn orange, Ben.
I did.
Take off that green master shirt. I want you to put orange. I want you to put orange pants, orange shirt, orange hat, orange socks, and I want you to whip out that Elton John orange sunglasses that you got. I want you to wear those too. I know you got a pair.
I did pack some orange.
I want you to wear it all.
My goal is to get in 2 rounds of golf while I'm down there with I'm going with 2 other Tennessee media members, Ryan Shumpert and Troy Provost Heron, and our goal is to get 2 rounds of golf in. And I packed
not going?
2 Tennessee polos. If I mentioned golf, Austin might show up just unexpectedly.
I know, man.
So I did pack my 2 Tennessee polos. I also plan on attending the fitness center near my hotel, and I did pack my bright orange Rocky Top shirt. So
Yeah, let's just wait for that.
wait and see if Tennessee beats Alabama.
Yeah,
Trust me, I'm a professional at picking out my attire after Tennessee loses to Alabama. So I think I will be able to navigate that. We need to go back to this bat. I'm curious about your batting stance. Would you have a Gary Sheffield like motion in your swing?
Yeah, you gotta have strong. What's this muscle right here called?
A forearm?
Is that what's it called? The muscles up in here.
I just have always heard it referred to as have strong forearm.
Man, you gotta have some strong forearms, man, to be doing that.
It's not as hard as it looks.
I used to love his stance. But you know the best swing ever is King Griffey Jr. But I'm right-handed, so it doesn't look the same. I would say Barry Bonds,
Gary
but
Sheffield's right-handed.
I know King Griffey is left-handed.
Sorry, I thought you said Gary Sheffield.
So, I mean, I would love for mine to look like Ken Griffey, but I'm right-handed. Sheffield, he's too jittery to me. Too jittery. Too much.
You could make Ken Griffey's look like yours, even though he's lefty and you're righty.
I tried, man.
Or maybe you could just try to swing the bat lefty.
I mean, I can do that bat lefty.
Also, I got an awesome T-shirt in the mail yesterday, a Ken Griffey Jr. shirt.
I'm jealous.
And I'm breaking it out next week. It's in my suitcase. Just going to break it out.
Just don't wear it with forest green.
It's actually it's not forest green, but it's a bright green. It's like Seahawks green and Mariners green.
Don't wear it with brown.
I'll try not to. Well, it's a T-shirt, so I'm not going to wear it with anything else.
Make sure the KB's paid when you get dressed. I'm just joking. I'm just joking, man.
It's a dope shirt though.
All right, we gotta stop and pray.
He's got his hat backwards, him blowing a bubble gum, and a big gold necklace, and it's a really cool shirt. I'll break it out next week on the show.
I bet it's sweet, man. We gotta pray though, man. We gotta pray for you and your travels down to Alabama.
I'm nervous about these potholes.
I-59.
And the drive from Chattanooga to Birmingham, when you go through Chattanooga, and there's that split you can go towards Nashville or you can go towards Birmingham. From the moment you go left towards Birmingham, after you've gone through Chattanooga, from there all the way to when you get to the Birmingham area is absolutely miserable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need to pray for you because your tires may need it. I think we need to pull out some sage, burn some sage up in here today, get some incense going, light some candles. I think we need to do whatever it takes, man, because this is going to be a very, very dangerous expedition for you, man. This is going to be more dangerous than all the trips that Christopher Columbus and Magellan went on.
And I'm gonna be
dangerous. I'm scared for you.
I'm gonna be on my Seth Stokes because the show ends at 10 Eastern. Tennessee's game against Alabama is supposed to start at about 2 p.m. Eastern. It's a 4-hour drive from here. The game is supposed to start 4 hours from the time the show ends. So
you good though, Ben? Somebody pull you over, they gonna walk up and go, "Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, this is a Charger. Huh, it looks pretty athletic. Yeah. He must be the kicker. He must be the kicker for Alabama.
How dare you? I'm more athletic looking than a kicker.
He must be a kicker.
He must be a walk-on receiver.
Go ahead, son.
Well, the problem is I have my Tennessee alumni license plate outlined around my Alabama license plate, so they will not give me a pass when they see that.
It's been so many interactions between Tennessee and Alabama. People transferring from Tennessee, Alabama.
They won't even know.
They won't even know, man.
They won't know.
We've got coaches from Alabama. We got players from Alabama. Players from here have went to Alabama. Coaches from here has went to Alabama. It's all good, man. The police officers won't even know. He'll let you go.
I need Florida and Mississippi State, which is today's game at 10:30 Eastern. I need that game to go a little long. I need a lot of runs to be scored. I need that game to be like a 3 to 3.5 hour baseball game.
Just getting a good line. You see someone speeding past you, you know it's time to ride. just
follow them and let them get pulled over.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I think it was probably like 2 months ago. I was going to Atlanta. It was during spring break. And if you don't drive in the left, if you're driving in the left lane, you're driving slow, I-75 toward Atlanta, you will get run off the road.
Yep.
So had a couple cars that was ready to ride. I was like, let's go.
Y'all looked like Fast and Furious.
Man, like Vin Diesel out there. I was like, Tyrese.
What would your
sweet lady?
What would your baseball swag look like? Like
King Griffey's.
Would you rock a sleeve?
Whatever King Griffey's doing.
Would you tape the wrist?
Whatever King Griffey's doing. I'm like the girl from Coming to America. Whatever you like. Whatever King Griffey likes.
I don't really think he had much of that going on.
I know he had a
sometimes you wore
the armband.
Yeah, sometimes you wore the armband.
But I always wear a backwards hat. I would try to wear a backwards hat even in the outfield.
But it's Ken Griffey didn't even do that.
Like it's the All-Star game or something.
Yeah, Griffey didn't wear much swag. He also played in Seattle, so he wore long sleeves a bunch.
Yeah, that's my swag. My swag will be like Ken Griffey's.
What's sad is like when I think of Ken Griffey, I think of him as a Cincinnati Red because I mean he played with the Mariners in the 90s, and I mean I was born in the 90s. So by the time I was old enough to like watch Ken Griffey and it resonate in my head, he was a Red playing with Adam Dunn and young days of Brandon Phillips. But I like when I think of Ken Griffey Jr., I associate him with the Mariners because I know those were his best days. But I watched him as a Cincinnati Red.
Well, he wore number 30 with the Reds.
Was it 30 or 33?
I don't know if he didn't wear 24.
3. That's right. 30 and 3. I think he had 2 stints with the Reds. He left the Reds.
Trash in that 30.
Came back.
He ain't look right in that 30, man. I'm gonna need for you to get on YouTube and get it together because the shirt you're getting that has Ken Griffey's face on it, it's not gonna have any red in it. I promise you that.
No, it's a Mariners colored shirt. What do I need to get it together about?
Hold on, man. I need that link. I think I might need to get me one, different color or something.
Well,
we gotta make sure we don't wear it on the same day.
The company that I ordered it from, they
went out of business.
No. I ordered the shirt. This is the shirt that I showed you back in February that I ordered, and it just came in. I had to pre-order it because they were doing a limited Ken Griffey Jr. type of situation.
Gotcha.
They had a Ken Griffey Jr. release and limited like sweatshirts and hats and T-shirts and things of that nature.
Gotcha.
He played for the Mariners from 89 to 99. I was alive for 4 of those years. And then he played for the Reds from 2000 to 2008.
No excuses.
And that was when I started watching. I've seen all the highlights. Ken Griffey Jr. I don't care if I was young when he started playing. Like, he's one of my all-time favorite players.
So much swag.
He did play for your White Sox for a year.
I don't want to talk about that.
Why? And then he went back to the Mariners. So he only had 1 stint with the Reds. I guess he changed his number midway. He wore 17 for the White Sox.
I'm with James GBO. Every day, Ben makes me feel old. Ken Griffey will always be a Mariner.
Oh, that's what I know. I'm not saying otherwise. I'm just saying I think of him playing with the Reds because that's when I watched him outside of YouTube clips. When I was first getting into baseball and watching it on TV around 8, 10, 12 years old, he was playing for the Reds. I didn't get to grow up with him playing with the Mariners. I had to go back and watch YouTube clips or specials on TV or old highlights that they would show during the game. When I was getting into baseball and watching it on TV, he was playing with Adam Dunn and the Reds.
The other McKee says Hoover is not nicer than Birmingham.
I don't know.
Y'all are wilding this morning.
No, you were wilding this morning.
I mean, when I go to Birmingham, I just make sure I don't stop until I go to Hoover. There's parts of pretty sure there's parts of Birmingham that's nice, but perception says
otherwise.
Other McKee. I think Other McKee lives in Alabama though. Maybe that's your doppelganger.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is, man.
I'm on edge today, Swain. Alabama just changes things for me. Get that Gary Sheffield flick of the wrist going.
We got to beat those meat sticks today, man.
Alabama is the definition of meat sticks.
If Tony Vitello don't beat Alabama, I don't know if I can back him anymore.
Go ahead and let him leave. Let him leave.
Done with Tony.
He can't beat Alabama.
He can't beat Alabama.
Get out of here, Tony.
I'm done with Tony Vitello. I'm done with you.
Go ahead, take that A&M job. Forget you, Tony. But I meant to mention this. You mentioned earlier that you didn't want to see Alabama or Tennessee take it kind of easy and coast for this particular game.
Not for this game.
They're not. They are starting Will Heflin today, Tennessee's Game 2 starter on the weekend. So they are going with one of their 3 starting pitchers today, and I think there's a reason for that. Tennessee wants
the Heflin pitch against Vanderbilt in Game 2?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw my I tweeted this out the morning after Tennessee beat Arkansas after the Max Ferguson home run. Will Heflin started that game. There are only 3 games this season in which Tennessee lost the opener of the series. Only 3 times the entire season. Alabama, when they played the first weekend of April in Tuscaloosa, Tennessee lost on Friday night, and Will Heflin pitched the next day and led Tennessee to a win. The second time was the first game that they lost to Kumar Rocker and Vanderbilt on Friday night here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Will Heflin got the ball the next day and led Tennessee to a win, or helped lead Tennessee to a win. He's the one that was able to help set up the Evan Russell moment and keep Tennessee in that game.
He smacked that thing.
That's right. And then he got the ball. The third time Tennessee lost the opening game of a series was against Arkansas. Will Heflin got the ball the next day and pitched 6 shutout innings, did not allow a base runner until the 5th inning. Arkansas did not get a hit until the 5th, 6th inning. So Will Heflin, he's gotten the ball 3 times this year after Tennessee lost the opener, and he absolutely shoved it down the opponent's throat. So Will Heflin is built for the moment. And I thought it would be Camden Sewell, Mark McLaughlin, somebody who doesn't typically start, but Tony Vitello going with one of his most trusted pitchers on the mound today. So he's not coasting this opening game.
Let's go. Let's go.
I love it.
Let's go. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill, or call 865-693-5400.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to OFOKnox.com. That's OFOKnox.com.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hour 1 is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Happy you'll be, or the service is free. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. HappyHiller.com. Let's get to the Irish Networks hotline. Let's get to Turkey Man. Turkey Man, good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, are you ready for them baseball balls to get kicked off?
What?
Are you ready for the baseball balls to get this thing kicked off?
Oh, okay. I thought you said they were going to get kicked off.
No. Get ready to get started.
I'm ready to go, man. Man. 2 p.m.
I was going to ask Ben a question there, since you don't really have a baseball history.
You don't have to rub it in. You don't have to rub it in, Turkey Man. Just ask Ben the question. Just don't rub it in. Just ask Ben the question. Don't be insulting me, Turkey Man.
I'm not insulting you here. I mean, okay. Hey, Ben.
Yes, sir.
What was the oddest or strangest pitching situation your team's ever seen or was part of?
That is a very good question. You warned me what you were going to ask, and I've been trying to think. I can't think of one particular moment. There was one time with me personally. I was playing summer ball in between my freshman and sophomore year in Georgia. We were in southwest Georgia, out in the middle of nowhere, and I came in to pitch at the end of the game.
That's all of Georgia, except Atlanta.
I'm talking southwest Georgia.
All of Georgia is in the middle of nowhere except for Atlanta.
That's true. That's true. You get over towards Savannah, and it's pretty crowded in that area. But I was pitching in a summer league game in between my freshman and sophomore year, and I started off playing third that game, and then they brought me in to pitch, and I think this was the end of the game, if I remember correctly, which you only play 7 innings at that level. And I think we were up by a run or two. It was a close game, and there were no outs when I came in to pitch. I think I started off the inning, and my dumb self walked. I think I walked the bases loaded.
Jeez.
I think I walked the bases loaded. The bases were somehow got loaded with no outs, and then I pulled a Sean Hunley and struck out the next 3 guys to get out of the inning.
Okay, Ben.
So
that's awesome.
That's one that sticks out.
That's awesome, man.
I threw a no-hitter in middle school, if that counts.
Well, I want to share.
I still have the ball, too.
An odd one from the coaching standpoint. That's okay.
Yeah,
go
for
in
it.
high school, you got your regions, you got your districts, and you got your state play, which, but with some or another, the high school, the coach, he was a faculty, and I was his assistant, and he scheduled this tournament right toward the end of the year when we were going to be in district play, and then was to have a chance to go to region. And school hadn't been there in years, so we had an opportunity. Well, we was playing this team that was good in a tournament, and we had, he's got so many arms, and no matter what level you got just so many pitchers that can get you through it. And I was just looking at how we could survive playing the tournament and get some experienced bats that are not really worrying about winning. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I looked at the rule book, and of course in high school, a pitcher can only pitch 10 innings per week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Soft. So I went to this conference talking with the refs. I said, well, I've got a question. I said, this 10 rule, 10 inning rule here, is that per arm? He said, yeah. He said, what? I said, well, so I've got a player here. He's going to start out pitching right-handed, and as far as I can take him. And I said, then I'm going to put him glove. He's going to pitch left-handed. And I said, so could I do 10 innings per arm? He said, yeah. So that's what we did. The high school quarterback was left-handed in high school, played ball left-handed, but he could throw the ball just as well right-handed. And if you rolled out to the left, he had all sorts of records. He'd roll out to his left, he'd throw it left-handed. He'd roll out to right, he'd throw it right-handed. He was in the field, he played right field or center field. He played as a right-hander. When he went to the pitcher mound, he pitched left-handed. But that particular tournament, we took him, I think, about 4 or 5 innings. You know, he got us that way, and I flipped him a glove, and he warmed up, and he went the other way for about 3 innings. But that's the strangest.
That is pretty strange, pretty unique.
But you got to do what you got to do. Because then we went into district play, and we qualified for region first time in forever. But saved my pitchers because we just had a few.
Turkey Man, you the Tony Vitello of high school football.
Baseball.
I'll say football. Baseball. You the Tony Vitello, man.
Well, you got to do what you got to do. You know, I mean, that's the main thing is where it counts. That tournament trophy didn't amount to nothing, but that other, which they give me my last game that I coached, we qualified for the region on that year too, but they give me the trophy for tying. We tied in district.
Memory lane. Turkey Man taking us on memory lane, man. The Tony Vitello of high school baseball, man. Taking a team from the bottom, and now he's here. How about that, man? I like baseball story time. You got any more stories, Ben? No?
I have one that relates to a baseball tournament, but it's not necessarily about baseball.
It's not a baseball story then.
It is about baseball. I was wearing my baseball uniform. My mom likes to tell this story. We were going to my first ever travel ball tournament. I was in 5th, 6th grade. We were living in Fort Bragg, New York. Fort Bragg, North Carolina, a.k.a. Fayetteville. Shout out to J. Cole, the home of the realest, the trillest. C-Mac will appreciate that. We were going to my first ever travel ball baseball tournament, and it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And my mom stopped and got Sonic. And I'm in the back seat, and I was wearing white pants.
Oh, you had bubble guts, huh?
No. Wearing white pants, and I got a big old burger, and the tomato slipped out of the burger and onto my crotch. This bright red tomato on my white pants, and the entire weekend I had a white tomato ring around my crotch and was playing baseball.
Ben, after yesterday, I don't think you're allowed to be talking about that. I think you need to refrain from talking about anything in that area after yesterday's show.
That's fair.
Was that yesterday's show or the day before yesterday?
Mondays.
Okay,
when
Monday.
I talked about I was worried about having to go to the doctor after the Grizzlies game Friday night because I was
you are banned from talking
hours.
about anything below the waist. You're banned, man. You're done, son.
You're done, son.
You are done. Let me check out this text box this morning. Fall storm. No one wants to hear Ben's stories. I like hearing Ben's stories.
I concur. I don't even want to hear my own stories.
That was a good story about walking with the bases loaded and then striking out the next three batters. That's a pretty good story, Volstorm. Quit being a hater.
Volstorm is a big hater. My favorite moment in my baseball career, if you want to call it that, playing baseball in high school, is I think I've shared this before, but we were playing at Lincoln County High School, and Lincoln County High School has, like, along their foul line, the fence.
Shout out to Jim Bob Cooter.
Yes. It has like a hill, a very small hill, but there's like a slope right along the fence in foul territory. And I was playing third, and a ball was hit in foul territory on the third base side, and I ran over, and this little slope into play and caught it for an out. And after that, the very next batter we made, I was the utility man.
You gonna brag or you tell a story?
Brag. I'm living my glory days. Just how like you talk about catching that ball against Florida all the time. That's all you talk about, or beating Alabama 3 times.
Hey man, do your thing.
So I moved after I made that ridiculous catch along the fence. I moved from third to second, and on the very next pitch, a ground ball in the hole to my left towards first base, and I dove for it, rolled over on my back, and from my butt threw it over to first for the out. So I made like back-to-back web gems.
Golden glove material, huh?
Yes.
I like it. All right, I'm going to go back to the text box this morning.
All right, that's enough stories from me.
The other McKee is giving you some advice on where to eat in Alabama. Let's see here. Chip told me just to work on slap button Swain. I know Jabbar Davis got the Tennessee Legends football camp. I'm thinking about putting the camp on full of kids just to work on slap button. That's it. 3 hours, nothing but slap button.
You know they don't slap bunt in baseball, right?
That's the problem. That's why I need to do a camp.
I
need to introduce it.
They kind of slap a bunt in baseball. It's just a little bit different. It's called a drag bunt in baseball. You have your traditional bunt where you square around and you bunt. It's a sacrifice bunt in that instance. But a drag bunt is when you are trying to bunt for a base hit. So instead of being stationary, when you bunt, you're kind of in a more athletic position, and you're trying to bunt and take off for first at the same time. But it's not like softball. Softball, if you kind of get a running start and whatnot, but you have to stay in the batter's box for baseball. You may have to for softball as well. But baseball is much more, like, in terms of bunting it, it's not like you're swinging the bat at the same time. It's kind of like you're bunting and starting to run down to first at the same time. So drag bunting is similar to slap bunting.
Other McKee says, isn't Hoover in Shelby County? Well, I just looked up that, part of Hoover is in Jefferson, which is Birmingham, and then part of Hoover is in Shelby because it has 2 listed. So, just weird. Don't make any sense. But, man, you just better make sure you have some weapons on hand. You just never know what's going to happen down there on your trip to Birmingham. Okay, what else is on the text box? KY Vols, good morning. Yesterday, right before we ended the show, 90s Vols says, we have a coach that swung on Pruitt. It's glorious.
Allegedly. I'm
believing it.
Swung on
I'm
Pruitt.
believing it because Mike Eckler did not want to answer the question directly when he was asked about the incident. I believe it. And I got too many different people that have basically confirmed the story. Mike Eckler's my favorite coach on the staff. Favorite coach. What time do you think he gets up every morning?
What'd he say, like 3:30?
What time do you think he goes to bed every night?
If he's getting up at 3:30, there's no way he goes to bed later than 8:30, 9 o'clock. There's just no humanly way possible.
Man, he's something else. NC Vol says, on top of the river in Anniston's good. It's good seafood, man. We one of the last memories I have of my grandmother is that I think for her 90th birthday, we took her to that restaurant, Anniston.
Are there multiple?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's one in Gunnersville, which is the one that is closest to Huntsville. That's the one we always went to.
Good seafood
for special occasions. Oh, the hush puppies are
good
amazing.
Seafood. So yeah, you can go there.
I've been.
Rodney Nostell, who's more famous from Lincoln County, Jim Bob or Chad Henderson? It's Jim Bob Cooter. Come on now, with a name like Cooter. Remember when he was an offensive coordinator, and the NFL broadcast team was acting like 7th grade middle school boys talking about Jim Bob Cooter. They couldn't help saying his name without giggling.
Well,
Jim Bob he got a famous name, man. And the only reason why people wanted him to come back to Tennessee and be the offense coordinator, and some crazy folks were like, ever thought about Jim Bob as a head coach? The only reason why is because he got a cool last name and it's funny.
There is a player on Tennessee's baseball team that I am like that with, that I can't talk about him without laughing because he has a nickname. Blade Tidwell. They took Tid, and everybody has to. In baseball, everybody's nickname ends in Y.
Oh,
like Tony.
Lord. Ben.
And the Tennessee baseball team calls Blake Tidwell Tid, and then they added a Y to it.
Oh my goodness!
So they took the T out and added the D's. There's a joke in there.
Oh my goodness!
And so, but
do not.
I'm not gonna say it. We were on a post game Zoom, and we were talking to Redmond Walsh, and I asked Redmond about Blade Tidwell and his performance that particular day, and he said the nickname. He's like, yeah, insert nickname, pitched really well today, and I lost it. And every time I think of Blade Tidwell, I think of his nickname that the baseball team calls him, and I cackle.
You cannot be at West Ham Mall and try to get his attention and yell that out. Oh my goodness, that would be so embarrassing. Hour 1 continues after this.
At work, can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses. It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
Good morning, Swain Event family. As you already know, I'm your go-to realtor when you are considering buying, selling, or investing in East Tennessee real estate. But did you know I can help all of you listeners in other parts of the country? No matter where you're listening from, there's a good chance I have several Keller Williams real estate partners in your area. I've developed relationships with realtors I know I can trust to help you with your needs. So give me a call, Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Homes, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Bring on the positivity. Bring on that positive energy. Attaboy is brought to you by Iris Networks. IrisNetworksUSA.com. Business, fiber, internet, and voice. IrisNetworksUSA.com. 90 days, no payment for business internet. And Ben, share with us your positivity for today.
Well, I was going to give Julius Randle, and then it hit me that he played at Kentucky, so he's a bum, and I'm not going to give him an attaboy anymore.
Man, it's attaboy time. Put your Kentucky hate to the side.
I'm giving Julius Randle an attaboy because of how he was informed that he was named the most improved player in the NBA this season. Julius Randle's son, I believe his name is Caden, told his dad, and they did it in a very cool way at Madison Square Garden, where he kind of ran out onto the court, and Julius did not know he was going to be there. He had a bunch of teammates and front office member and just members of the Knicks organization, and he came, and his son, that is, and came out to the floor and told him that he had won the Most Improved Player of the Year award. So very cool, and he is deserving. I think he should have been considered more for MVP. Not necessarily
he was in the running.
Win it. Yeah, but I know he's in the running, but I think he should have been more than just in the running. I mean, I think he should have been a finalist, like top 2, top 3.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
My top 3 is Jokic, Randle, Steph.
What about Chris Paul?
He'd be after, like, in that next tier. I think Steph, Jokic, and Julius were more impactful to their team than Chris Paul. Yeah, you take Chris Paul off the team, the Suns are still making the playoffs with DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, and all those other cast of characters. You take Steph off the team, you take Jokic off the team, you take the Nuggets probably still make the playoffs, but they're not anywhere near as good as they are right now. You take Steph off the team, you take Julius off the team, the Warriors are not close to sniffing out the playoffs. I know you think Andrew Wiggins is the second coming of Jesus.
No, I don't.
and he's over here breaking the backboard, hitting it off the side of the backboard in crunch time and in the final minute of overtime. Thank you, Mr. Wiggins, for clanking it off the side of the backboard and almost killing somebody on the baseline. But you take Steph off that team, the Warriors aren't even close to making the playoffs. You take Julius Randle off the Knicks aren't even close to making the playoffs. So Chris Paul's in the MVP running. I'm not saying that at all, but Chris Paul had more help than any of the other 3.
I wish this was a homie to clown.
Am I right or am I right?
You wrong and you wrong.
No.
Chris Paul
had more help than all the other 3 guys I mentioned. That's a fact.
This year, Chris Paul is 1 game away from having the best record in the NBA overall. But we'll move on. We might add a boy.
Well, let me throw in some Randle stats real quick. And Randle's son's name is Caden. Julius Randle won the Most Improved Player of the Year. He's a 7-year vet. He averaged career highs in points with 24, rebounds with 10.2, assists 6.0, 6 assists. 3-point percentage was 41.1%, and his free throw percentage was 81.1%. One of the most fun players to watch in the league this year.
Yeah. I like when he gets upset and gets technical fouls, especially when they play the Nets, because that's a rivalry right there in the Subway series of basketball. My attaboy goes to Austin East Soccer, and should have been on there days ago, but man, they're making it easy for us to bring up today because they keep winning. Well, if you are not aware of what's been going on in Knoxville the last couple of months with our youth and violence, Austin East has certainly suffered and been through a lot this year. Several of their students passing away. Austin East Soccer, had to make some changes where folks didn't want to play them at Austin East, and they had to move the game to a more safer area to make people feel comfortable because of the shootings in the area. And so Austin East Soccer a couple weeks ago, for the first time in school history is in the state tournament, and they just beat Greenback 8-0 in the Class A sectional to clinch its first spring Fling appearance. So Austin East Soccer is making history. They're going for a state championship in a sport that they've never been to a tournament in. So it's really cool to see the community kind of lifting up Austin East soccer team and this team going out and just for a little bit, man, for a couple weeks or a month, just making everyone proud, making history. So really cool. They started their tournament, the Spring Fling tournament. It's going to be in Murfreesboro, and it started yesterday. So attaboy to Austin East Soccer.
Yes, and they are also seeking help to potentially make the title game in Murfreesboro, in the sense of needing some funds to help feed the kids and just be able to take care of them and going to the state title game, assuming that they make it that far, which it looks like they're not going to have an issue doing. So if you'd like to donate or whatnot, Swain or I can put the link in the show notes. And those kids deserve it. They've had a rough year.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now, man. So if you want to go to the app show notes there, and it's a story from WATE, and inside of that story is information on their story and how to help. But I mean, $5, $10, anything will help. These boys, man, have been through a lot this year, and they're making the whole community proud of what they're doing right now. So let's help them out and try to donate to make it easy for them just to eat. I mean, goodness gracious, just to eat.
It was really cool to see
it's up
them.
now.
It was really cool to see them play senior night at Tennessee Soccer Field.
Yep. That's why
really cool.
they moved the game, because the violence there. So we got touchdown turnover coming up next. Hour 2 is coming up. Is Tennessee basketball going to suffer when it comes to scheduling some lower tier schools because they are afraid? We'll talk about that in hour number 2 coming up.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy. Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. All right, it's time for Around the SEC this morning. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio. All right, Ben, what do we have for Around the SEC?
Don't necessarily have any SEC notes to discuss. We have a college basketball note at large to discuss that you mentioned before the break. John Rothstein, who covers college basketball for CBS, one of the best college basketball personalities in the world of college basketball on Twitter. He is awesome at covering the sport. He tweeted yesterday at 11:54 a.m., sources, multiple mid-major programs are opting to not play guarantee games against high major programs because it gives power conference teams a, quote, free live evaluation of future players who could move up via the transfer portal. And then John Rothstein added, the level of separation has never, he said never in all caps, it has never been greater. The level of separation has never been greater. So multiple mid-major programs are opting to not play guarantee games against high major programs because it gives power conference teams a free live evaluation of future players who could move up via the transfer portal.
Why? I understand the reason why they don't want to possibly play those teams, but why? why would a coach go through with this? I understand not wanting to have your Seth Currys poached. You know, have a guy like him who's playing at Liberty and goes on to Duke. I understand you wouldn't want that, but to put that into action to try to prevent that from happening, aren't you just hurting the player? Really, at the end of the day, if the player has put in the work to develop himself and put himself in position to compete at that level, shouldn't you be happy for him? Number one. Number two, this ain't 1940. We can still see the player. They make things called like TV. They make these things called vehicles and cars and planes where you can always send someone to go watch them. Like, this is petty to the 10th degree, and really all it does is hurt the student athlete. And, like, really, how many student athletes could really on your team go play top-notch D1 basketball?
A lot of them are transferring.
I know, but I'm talking on one team, on one team.
It's probably your top 2 or 3 guys.
Well,
if that. But
you're going to do all that work to prevent them from trying to leave, but they're going to leave anyways because it's not like someone can't watch the game somehow, some way.
Yeah, that's what is weird about it to me. I don't blame the mid-majors. I kind of side with the school and the team and the coach in this particular situation more so than I do the player. Maybe shame on me for being a bad person, but I don't like the free agency in college sports right now. I don't. Tampering is a huge problem. I don't like that, guys like Steph Curry who give us awesome stories at Davidson, awesome storylines to follow in the NCAA tournament, Ja Morant at Murray State, Jimmer Fredette at BYU, and BYU's a little bit different than a Murray State or a Davidson. But it is because you saw the kid from Purdue, Harms. Remember the tall, skinny kid that whines about everything? Mm-hmm. He's a good player, and he transferred to BYU. But regardless, that is Jimmer Fredette, not necessarily Jimmer Fredette. I imagine could have transferred to Kentucky for his final year, or Duke, or North Carolina, or wherever. So I to be honest with you, and maybe shame on me for being a bad person, but I do side with the coach and the school in this particular instance, and that's really because I just hate the sense of free agency, and I wouldn't necessarily blame a player for trying to do what is best for him. I just don't have to like it. I don't blame him for trying to progress their career, but I don't have to like it. So I don't blame the coaches for trying to think of a way to prevent it, to prevent losing their best player who may be the conference player of the year. I don't blame the coach for trying to prevent that, but it is weird that they are doing this when all Rick Barnes or John Calipari has to do is go turn on game film and they'll be able to watch them that way. Are you going to tell your conference not to sign a TV deal so that you're not on TV too? That's what's weird about it.
That's like there's a rodent in your house and you pull out the blowtorch to try to kill the rodent, but you end up burning down your own house. And it's like you're worried about this little small thing, and it's really going to hurt you in the bigger picture. When it comes to transfers, I don't like the interconference transferring unless they come into Tennessee. I've already stated that I'm biased when it comes to that. It's a little weird to me. I don't like, and it's already happening, I don't like the tampering that goes on in a interconference. I hate that. I don't like that. That's bad. It's terrible. But this is different, man. If you have a basketball player coming out of high school and the Tennessees, the Baylors, the Gonzagas, the Dukes, the Kentuckys, whatever, they don't recruit this young man. But the young man goes to school. He puts in the work. He develops himself into a Ja Morant. He develops himself into a player that now could play on that stage. And that player he's always wanted to play on that stage and play at a program like that. That players earn that right. Because if he was that good coming out of high school, he wouldn't be at your school in the first place. So be happy you got him for 1, 2, 3 years, and that player had put your school on the map a little bit, bringing attention to your school. Be happy for that young man. Send him off. Bless him. Let him go be great. But to try to not play bigger schools because of that, all you're doing is hurting the rest of the team. Because how cool will it be for ETSU to come in and play in Thompson Bowling Arena? How cool will it be when I remember when Walter McCartney was coaching, what's that little small school in Indiana or Kentucky, when he went to Kentucky and beat Kentucky?
Evansville.
How cool is that for those kids that play in Rupp Arena, but you don't want to do it because you're afraid that some big school's going to take one of your big players. Like, all you're doing is hurting your own players at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
And you're also kind of hurting your own team, because what if, like ETSU 2 years ago when the season was canceled, that was absolutely an NCAA tournament team. There's no bones about it. That team was a tournament team and probably a Sweet 16 team. That team could have played with just about anybody in the country. Forbes' final team there at ETSU. But you run the risk of, if you don't win your tournament, then like you're not going to make the tournament. If you don't win your conference tournament, that is, and you don't get that automatic bid, then you run the risk of missing the NCAA tournament. So when you play these non-conference games like ETSU did that year when they went to Baton Rouge to take on Will Wade and LSU and beat LSU in Baton Rouge, like that helped them, would have helped them get into the NCAA tournament had they not won the conference tournament. So you're also hurting your school from potentially missing out on the NCAA tournament if you have a team that is absolutely, in the running and has a team that could make the big dance. You're taking potential resume wins that would get you into the tournament if you don't win your conference tournament. You're taking those off of the table. So it's a little weird. I think you're hurting your school more than you're helping it, for sure.
I know in football, a team like Tennessee will pay an Austin Peay or Bowling Green or Georgia State will pay them, $500, $700, $900, $1 million to play. And for that school, that's big time. They know they're about to get their head busted, but they know they can take that money and upgrade their facilities and things like that. And they're willing to take that lump on the head, and it gives those kids an opportunity to play at a big-time SEC program stadium. I wonder if when Tennessee basketball plays one of the inferior teams like a Samford, is Tennessee doling out any cash for that matchup?
Yes.
So why would you not want to take that cash?
Well, and here's a rebuttal. Nathaniel Rutherford sent this tweet my way. I had missed this tweet yesterday from Jeff Goodman, who quote tweeted Rothstein's tweet that we are discussing, and said, Goodman said that one low major athletic director told Goodman, quote, "This is nonsense. If there's one school saying that, feel free to call the other 99% of us and offer us the $90K for a game. We'll be there."
Exactly.
I'm sure Rothstein talked to like one coach, one athletic director.
That's why it didn't make sense. It was silly.
Yeah.
Because we know what rules everything around us.
Money,
man. It's money. At the end of the day, yeah, you may feel bad that the team is being
poached,
depleted, or poached by its best player, and that team may not be able to get to the tournament and get their head beat in the first round of the NCAA tournament by one seed anyways. But you gonna miss out on that money?
No.
Come on, man.
No, especially after COVID, those schools need the money. I still don't like it though. I still don't like that these.
It doesn't bother me as much as the interconference.
I'm with
tampering.
you. But part of the reason I love college basketball so much is because we do get those Steph Curry stories, and you do have some of the low major programs knocking off the the major programs. And like when Ja Morant, his last season at Murray State went down to Auburn, and Ja Morant put on a show. I think he dropped a 30-piece. I think Auburn squeaked out a win, and that was the Auburn team that went to the Final Four. But that game, although it was played in December, that game was one of the best college basketball games that season. And now it's looking like the Ja Morant types are going to be poached from those low major schools. Why are you shaking your head no?
Because the Steph Curry example and the Ja Morant example, those schools got them for that 1 year. They're going to the league anyways.
Well, Steph was there for 3 years, and Ja was at Murray for 2.
But their run, though, that run that was so magical was when Steph Curry left that year, when he was dropping people off at the NCAA tournament, when Ja Morant was doing the same thing. They're not going to stay past that year anyways. They're going to go either to the NBA or to a bigger school. So be happy you got them for that 1 year.
Yes. My point, though, is that we're not going to get that Steph Curry run because in between Steph's sophomore and junior year, Steph's going to go to Kentucky or North Carolina or Duke or one of those schools, and he makes that. I mean, that's what's happening. You see,
you don't get recruited to go to another school unless you balling.
Steph was balling as a sophomore.
I understand that, but not like he had that run in the tournament his last year at Davidson. Listen, I get what you're saying, but if you got to ball out to get noticed, and once you get noticed, you don't necessarily have to go to a bigger college team. You can go straight to the league.
That is true, but I still don't think that we're going to get the Steph Curry storylines as often, or the Ja Morant beating Marquette and going ham on Marquette in the first round of the tournament, because Ja was at Murray for 2 years. Sophomore year got him drafted, but he was really good as a freshman at Murray as well. Good enough to where if one of the blue bloods in college basketball wanted him, he could have gone and played at one of those blue bloods. And then we don't get that sophomore Ja and that run from Murray State in the NCAA tournament, or leading up to the NCAA tournament, and we don't get that Ja performance against Marquette because he's already at another school for that season, and then he's going to the league. And the same with Steph. Steph would have jumped before his junior year, before he made that tournament run. We don't get that, and now you're seeing conference player of the year after conference player after year after conference player of the year. They're leaving the Coastal Carolina, the Wofford, the Furman. They're leaving these schools, and they're jumping before their junior or senior year that low major could have made a fascinating run in the NCAA tournament. They're leaving before they have that ability to make that run and going and joining a Kentucky and schools of that nature. So I think we're going to see less and less of those magical runs in the NCAA tournament, and I hate that for the sport because that's what makes the sport so great.
Yeah, that's a down part of the transfer portal. You know, there's good and bad. I mean, it's good and bad, man. I mean, it really is.
But I also don't blame a player. Like I'm sitting up here defending the low major colleges and the sport in general. But I'm also not going to blame Kellen Grady for jumping ship and going from Davidson to Kentucky. I don't like it for the sport. I hate that we don't potentially get a Davidson run in the NCAA tournament this upcoming year like we did with Steph. But I'm not going to fault the kid for going to Kentucky because that is the best career move for him. I see both sides, and I hate that we won't get as many Cinderella runs, in my opinion, but I'm also not going to fault the kid for doing what is best for his career, because it is absolutely best for his career to go from Davidson to Kentucky. It's best for E.J. Anosike, although it didn't necessarily work out all that well. It's best for him to go from, where was he, Stony Brook? from I think it was Stony Brook.
Where?
To Tennessee. I mean, that is best for his career, although it hurts the school that he came from.
Let me ask you this then. How would you feel about a player, and this is from Randy in San Antonio, how would you feel about, a Steph Curry if he picks Tennessee? You feel the same way? Or does your bias kick in?
Well, I mean, yeah, my bias kicks in that instance, but
Sorry,
point,
suckers.
The point still remains. It's still I mean, I'm happy that he came to Tennessee, but it still stinks for the sport.
Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart, that's right. It still stinks for the school.
Stony Brook.
Close enough. Say 2 words. Right?
No. You
starts with an S.
No,
and
you're here.
2 words.
You're here respecting the little mid majors. Now you're disrespecting them. Also, whatever. It's the same thing. Who cares?
Well, if never mind. I'm not gonna say anything about EJ. I would be thrilled if Kellen Grady had picked Tennessee, but it still sucks for Davidson. We're still not gonna get that fun postseason run from Davidson.
Yeah, but we're gonna get that run from Tennessee.
That's
hopefully.
Right.
Please,
Lord. That is true.
Please, Lord.
It still stinks for even though it's great for Tennessee and my bias would kick in, it's still even though my bias for Tennessee kicks in, the point remains it still stinks for low major schools and for the sport overall.
And I made the point that Volstorm saying here, if the kids were all that good, why didn't they just go to a major conference school in the first place? Well, because they weren't good enough. Or something happened academically or something at the beginning. The Steph Curry story is rare, man, because the dude was dropping 20+ points the moment he stepped on campus.
Yes.
22, 26, and averaged 29 points his last year before declaring for the NBA draft in 08. So it's rare, man. You get one breakout year.
Steph is
in most cases.
Steph is the extreme. It is. I acknowledge that. But if you gave me the afternoon, I could go through and come back tomorrow and give you 15 to 20 examples, if not more, about big-time mid-major players balling out this past year at their mid-major school and then deciding to transfer.
Yeah, that's the point. 1 year.
It felt like every other day a conference player of the year at a mid-major was transferring.
No, you're right about that.
That's not good for the sport.
I think it's great. I love it.
No.
Because I can't wait for one
to
come to Tennessee.
I mean, yeah, but I get the Tennessee perspective of it, but we're talking about the sport as a whole, and the less that talent is scattered out, the more college basketball is going to become like college football in the sense of there's not going to be as much parity. And although we love football more,
maybe more parity in football.
There's no parity in football right now.
There may be more parities, is what I said. There may be more parity in football with the transfers. I'll break it down after the break. We can continue to talk about it. Hour 2 here in the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
At Hill Hiller, we care about your family's comfort all year long. If you get caught without air conditioning this summer, we're offering a free service call with any repair. That's a free service call when we do the work on your HVAC system. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your appointment today.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Touchdown or Turnover is backed by Alcoa Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Touchdown Turnover back by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, the place where you belong, better rates and better service. The transfer portal will create more parity in college football than college basketball. The transfer portal will create more parity in college football than college basketball, touchdown or turnover. Let it marinate. Think about it. You can take a 30-second timeout.
No, I'm good. I say turnover. I don't think that either transfer portal is going to give either sport via the transfer portal is going to create more parity than the other. I think, again, with college basketball, I think players transferring will take away from the parity of college basketball. I think football is going to stay the same. I think college football parity is going to stay the same because unless a Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields becomes available, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, like those teams aren't taking a ton of transfers. They don't need the transfer portal. And the Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts, those guys, I'm comfortable throwing in Eric Gray, Henry To'oTo'o because those two, despite the year that Henry had, are still really great football players that could go play just about anywhere in the country. And oh, by the way, Henry's dad posted an Instagram story about dropping Henry off in Tuscaloosa today or yesterday. Shout out to Big Shot Rob for sending me this. And he said, "Take care of my baby, Alabama." And then in a separate message on his Instagram story said that it wasn't as easy leaving Tennessee as many think. Tennessee will also always hold a special place in our heart. So random side note there about how Mr. To'oTo'o is trying to appear that he feels about Tennessee. But
Bye, Felicia.
I'm with you. I feel the same way. Bye, Felicia. But I don't know what my answer is because I don't think it changes. I don't think one sport is going to have an advantage in terms of creating more parity than the other via the transfer portal. I think college football is going to stay the same because the big schools aren't taking transfers like other schools are, like a Tennessee or an Auburn or whatnot, so on and so forth. Whereas with college basketball, like I said last segment, I feel that it's taking away from the parity, and we are going to have less Cinderella runs and less upsets in the NCAA tournament because I think those big-time mid-major players are going to latch on to the blue bloods and whatnot. So I don't have an answer for you. I don't know my answer. Maybe I'll listen to you speak and then come up with one. But for now, I'm copping out and I'm taking a timeout before I have 4th and goal on the 5 in the end zone, red zone.
You can kick a field goal?
I don't know. It depends on what
Jalen Hurd on the sideline?
I'll let you know. I'll let you know. It's 4th and goal from the 5, so I don't know that I'd run a Jalen Hurd run play from the 5-yard line.
I just created a poll there on your Swain Event app, so you can answer the same question that we are discussing here, which is the transfer portal will create more parity in college football than in college basketball. For me, the answer is touchdown. The answer is yes, because before the transfer portal, you had more parity in college basketball because, like you said, the Loyola Chicagos, the George Masons, the Butlers, those squads, they're intact. Guys are not leaving, and that's why people love NCAA tournament, is because you do have the Cinderellas and you do have the parity. Whereas college football, there's only a few dominant schools, and no one really has a chance. But I think transfer portal now can give more teams an opportunity. In football, here's the reason why. Georgia and Alabama and Clemson and Ohio State, they're going to dominate on National Signing Day because they're going to make the high school players' eyes all gazy, and they'll be mesmerized by the wins and by the recent guys going to the NFL, the recent success. Again, kids are bandwagon fans. They'll want to jump on that bandwagon. So they're going to dominate National Signing Day. But not everybody can go to Alabama. Not everybody can go to Clemson. Not everybody can go to Oklahoma, Ohio State, whatever. But now you have those schools like a Penn State, like a Tennessee, like a Florida State, who are trying to kind of get back. And you're not going to be able to out-recruit Alabamas and Georgias right now with kids fresh out of high school. But what you can do is add some proven college players with some experience, with some hunger, with more maturity, and you can compete a little bit better. Because for you to really have a shot of beating Alabama, you got to bring in a class that's pretty good, and it's going to take some time to develop that class to give the Alabamas your best shot. It's kind of like when Dan Mullen was at Mississippi State. He took that Dak Prescott group, and they were upperclassmen. He developed them for 2 or 3 years, and then they made their shot. But we know that Dan Mullen wasn't going to do it the next year at Mississippi State. It was going to be like an every 3 to 4 year deal. That's how Clemson and Alabama puts pressure on you, Ohio State, because they just reload every single year. And they have, a 5-star guy that's not playing, but he's developing, and then when it's his turn, he needs 1 year and he's going to the NFL. Other schools can't do that. But what other schools can do is say, instead of playing a freshman, or instead of, trying to play someone that don't have experience or playing someone that's underdeveloped physically, man, we're going to plug in these holes with some experienced, mature college players. And I think it gives other schools more of an opportunity. I think there could be more parity in college football with the transfer portal. And we know Alabama's still going to go out there, and Ohio State's, and Oklahoma, because they've done it already, right? They've gone out and they've still gotten transfers. Oklahoma's gotten three from us.
The top transfers available, these schools are getting.
Yeah, I mean,
top teams are getting the top transfers, which does not help with parity.
But we, like other schools, instead of going out and getting a freshman, man, we can go out and get someone that is a starter somewhere else, that wants to change the scenery, that's mature, that's good enough to play at the next level, and we can plug him rather than plugging a third-string linebacker or second-string linebacker,
long snapper,
or a freshman linebacker. We can go plug a Juwan Mitchell because of the transfer portal. And if you could do that, now I'm just speaking from Tennessee. Not every school could be able to do that, but Tennessee has the luxury of playing in the SEC. They have the luxury of having a ton of resources, having a fan base, playing in front of 100,000 people, and that's going to be attractive to some of these transfers. So I think if you have those things as a school, you have a better shot than trying to beat Alabama and Clemson, Ohio State and Georgia for high school recruits. You can add talent through the portal. So I think you can add some more parity to the game. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I think the same schools are going to be competing this year for the college football playoff, but it's going to make it more interesting. You have more of a chance. It won't be just set in stone that, all right, it's going to be Ohio State, Clemson, Oklahoma, and Alabama this year in the college football playoff. It gives the other teams more of a chance to add talent, just not from the high school ranks.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
I just don't think that it still necessarily helps with the parity in college football because, as we have talked about on Friday when Stokes was on, we talked about it on Monday. Like, Tennessee has aced the transfer portal. Josh Heupel has hit a home run, in my opinion, with the transfer portal since he has taken over the job, just because he's helping fill the voids that were left behind of guys who did transfer. And instead of having to rely on the freshman player that you mentioned or who would typically be a second string or third string player, he's gone out and gotten players who could be an instant starter, who are going to be an instant starter, transfers who are going to start. Like, Josh Heupel has hit a home run with the transfer portal, in my opinion. But it's not really going to change the parity. Like, those guys.
It helps or hurts.
It helps, but we're having an overall conversation about parity within the sport. And, like, Tennessee, in adding all of these transfers, is not going to help with the parity with the sport. It's going to help Tennessee win maybe a game or two more than it would have before adding these transfers, but Tennessee's not going to factor into the parity within the sport. The transfer portal is good for programs that are in the type of situation that Tennessee is currently in, but you don't see the schools that are at the top competing in the top 5, top 10, top 15 every year, trying to compete for championship. And I even think I'm stretching it when I say top 15. The top 5 to 8 schools is more so what I'm referring to. Like, they don't go out and take advantage of the transfer portal because typically most players in the portal are transferring for a reason. And they're not going to be, for the most part, upgrades over what those top schools already have. And even the top players that are in the portal, they're still going to those schools that are the same schools competing for a championship every year. So how much are the amount of transfers that a school like Tennessee is getting, like, how much is that actually helping with the parity in college football? Because it may help Tennessee win a game or two more this year, the additions in the transfer portal, but it's not going to have an effect in the parity in college sports.
It helps
in college football
because USC can do the same thing that Tennessee is doing. A Texas A&M can do the same thing, where you are a piece away from competing against the teams that out recruit you. You can just plug that one piece. The Oklahomas. This is their time to make a run this year. I mean, they lose to SEC schools with Eric Gray and Wanye Moores. They lost on those guys when they tried to recruit them, but now they get them in the transfer portal. They get SEC talent, and they already have their talent. They have more of a chance now to beat an Alabama or to beat a Georgia now. I think.
But Oklahoma, I agree with what you are saying about Oklahoma. But Oklahoma's already a school that competes for a national championship.
But they've been stubbing their toe against Alabama. It's been Alabama, Clemson, LSU last couple of years. It's been SEC.
Yes.
The transfer portal, I think, could help Oklahoma finally kind of stop that streak of the SEC winning. That's parity. That's called parity. That's a definition of parity right there.
Yes, but Oklahoma's already been competing for national championships. I know, but I'm competing for a national championship. You don't have to win a national championship to compete for a national championship. If you are in the playoffs every year, you are competing for a national championship. Like Oklahoma's in the mix each and every single season competing for a national championship. So they're already within the parity that exists in college football. So adding transfers isn't going to change anything for them. It may get them over the hump, but they're already competing.
But that's the point, though. It may get them over the hump.
Yes, but parity is having multiple teams that can go out and win a national championship, more than 5 or 6. That's what parity is, having more than 4 to 5 to 6 teams that can win a national championship. College football does not have that because Oklahoma is already one of those teams that can go out and win a national championship.
They have it, though. Let me get to Rusty. Rusty, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
What's up, Russ?
Y'all getting heated.
It's discussion, not heated.
Dude, Ben and I can debate, donuts. Glazed versus non-glazed, man.
You should
hear us off the air.
Yeah, you should have heard our Andre Drummond and Mark Gasol conversation before the show.
I'm going to teach y'all to do that on the air when I get off the phone.
It wasn't even a debate. Ben just he just want to start a debate. I wasn't interested in that debate.
I think I can feel Swain on this.
You're breaking up a little bit, Rusty, man. Yeah, you're breaking up, man. Sounds like you're calling from rural Georgia or something. Someplace that's not Atlanta.
Try to give us a call back.
Yeah, give us a call back, right? We'll get you right back in, Rusty.
I know Rusty was driving when he called, so I imagine he's going through a tough spot.
Oh, man, he must got that DR Vol phone service, man. Golly, man. Because Rusty brings it.
Yes, Rusty is awesome.
Love to hear from Rusty. 865-250-503. Rusty's calling us back. We'll get Rusty back in here, or whoever that is, as soon as we come back from break. We'll do a quick break if that's Rusty. How about that? Swain Event, be right back. Lately, firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help. When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to OFOKnox.com. That's OFOKnox.com. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment
and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Let's get to Rusty, man. Let's try to get Rusty in here again. Rusty, let's try it again, man. Good morning.
Any better?
Yeah.
Any better?
Yeah, better.
Cool. So I was saying that I lean with you in kind of a hopeful way, I guess is the right way to look at it. And it may not happen immediately, but I think it could create the parity in college football. I agree with Ben. Basketball is not going to go in the right direction. Basketball is going to go the wrong way. But football, it might help because right now, this is just my take. And like I said, it may take a few years for kids to start recognizing that they have a chance or have an advantage or have maybe an opportunity. Because I think we can all agree that, like, Clemson and Bama and Ohio State, at least those three, their second and third teamers are as good as, let's say, Iowa's and Mississippi State and Tennessee's and South Carolina's. And those kids who wait 2 and 3 years at Alabama to get their chance to play we might see a lot more Alvin Kamara situations from linemen and linebackers and running backs and receivers that don't wait around at certain schools and go to Mississippi State where they can play immediately after their freshman or sophomore year instead of waiting until they're a junior to play at Bama or Clemson. So I think we might see some of those elite teams that are in the playoffs every year start losing some of their depth to the transfer portal. And that really could change things in a positive way.
Yeah, I think that's another way to look at it. You know, I was looking at it more for, you know, the teams that have stubbed their foot against the SEC schools, you know, like the Notre Dames and the Ohio States of late and Oklahoma. I mean, I think the portal can help them get over the hump. And for me, having a different national champion is having more parity. So that's another way that you looked at it, and I see that.
I guess the hope isn't it's not going to necessarily make Mississippi State or Tennessee or Iowa or Purdue or anybody that much better. Hopefully what it does is it brings Clemson and Bama down a little bit because it takes their depth away. It takes it to where they're just reloading with studs every year because they're losing some of those guys that are waiting in the wings. They're not waiting in the wings. They're going somewhere else.
Yeah, and it may help more teams have that Ole Miss moment where, remember when Hugh Freeze got all those 5 stars because, you know, he was basically like, you know, blue chips, and he was able to beat Alabama those times. You know, you might see Alabama slip up a little bit more in the regular season. That doesn't mean that they're not going to compete for a championship or anything like that. But I'm saying Alabama has been able to dominate so much because they take all the recruits out of high school and then they develop them. Well, if you allow more schools like the LSUs or the Texas A&Ms or the schools that just been they get good players, but they just not good enough to play against Alabama. You add a couple of those transfers in there, they might get over the hump a little bit against Alabama in the regular season.
Oh yeah, I think we'd all be just fine right now if let's say like 6 of Alabama's freshman class this year that didn't get near the field and probably aren't going to play much this year, but they're all going to be All-Americans by the time they're juniors. We'd love to have them in Knoxville as redshirt freshmen this year because they left Alabama in the portal.
Yeah,
but you've been seeing that happen for years now. Like the Brandon Kennedys of the world have been transferring. Now maybe you'll see an uptick in maybe 2 or 3 more guys, but Bama loses like this offseason. Bama lost a linebacker that transferred to Utah, I believe. He is a depth piece that you are referencing, and lost him to Utah, I believe it was. But then they go out and get Henry To'oTo'o. So, like, although they're losing some depth pieces, they're also getting the perceived best players in the transfer portal. So are they really taking a step back when now they can also go get the best players in the transfer portal?
That's why I'm saying I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I think it might be 3 or 4 years down the road before we see it really benefit and make parity because there's been 1, 2, 3 Brandon Kennedys, Alvin Kamara's, the kids you're talking about. I think you start seeing 10 to 11 of those guys per year leaving Alabama.
See, I'm not talking about the second and third string guys from Alabama leaving. I'm more looking at, when I look at the first round of the draft, I see a lot of dudes who play at smaller schools compared to the SEC powers. Right. So I'm looking at a dude like Peyton Turner, who was a defensive end in Houston, or a dude over here that Virginia Tech, a Caleb Farley, someone that played at Tulsa, Zaven Collins. Like I'm talking about those guys being added to Oklahoma's or Auburn or USC or Florida State or Penn State, and that's
the 3 skill guys in Central Florida.
Yeah, like
the 3 skill guys at Central Florida last year that could have all played in the SEC.
Yeah, I'm talking about adding guys like that.
Right, I get that too.
Yeah, or Rashawn Slater from Northwestern, like guys like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it eventually can get there and help, and hopefully we get the playoff out of the 4 teams because I think that's going to create more kids be willing to go to places that aren't the big schools. So we need both of those things to happen quick.
Yeah.
Or to abolish the playoff altogether. We got to do something because when it's just the 4 teams that get in, it's going to be the same 4 teams until they change that too. So.
Yep.
It's brutal. It's brutal. But hey, let's win some baseball games and forget about football for a while.
That's right, man. That's right. Today, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. I think about putting something on the smoker because, man, I just sure don't feel like doing any dishes and cooking up in here. It's too hot outside.
Sounds good.
Cooking in the kitchen. All right, thanks, Rusty.
Y'all be cool.
Thank you. It might be a good time to tailgate, man. Get the tailgate tent out in the backyard for the baseball game. Baseball game's the longest football game, so, man, hey, it works out. It works out.
And you can get stuff done during a baseball game.
I'm going to be paying attention. I'm going to be locked in, man. I'm going to be locked in unless my dog wants to go out or anything. You know what? I think about this during the break because I had to take my dog out. I see why people like dogs more than humans now. I think I realize that. I understand it.
Why is that?
So I've had my dog, it'll be 3 weeks Saturday. In less than 3 weeks, I already like my dog more than some humans that I've known my whole entire life.
Yep.
Ain't that crazy, man?
Yep.
Ain't that crazy? I like my dog more. I've only had him 2.5 weeks. I like him more than some folks I've known for 5, 10, 15 years.
Yep, that's why I have said numerous times on this show that when I was kind of iffy on whether or not my wife and I should get a dog, not because I didn't want one, but just because we had just gotten married and trying to figure out life and get situated. I didn't know if a dog was the best thing to throw into the mix, but obviously decided to get one, and I would do it 100 times over again. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made. They bring so much joy, and no matter what type of day that you are having, they're always happy to see you and want to spend time with you and show their love for you. It's just, dogs are awesome.
Loyal, man. Loyalty.
Man, my dog is having the time of his life right now. He's staying with his grandparents for the week since I went to Columbia over the weekend, and now I'm headed to Hoover for the week. He's chilling with his grandparents for the week and killing mice and being spoiled.
Yeah, I caught a chipmunk yesterday, man, and he's still in the trap. I gotta release him somewhere. I might release him on I-40 or something. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna release him in the woods, a couple miles away.
I'll drop him off on I-40 if you want.
Nah, I don't want to do that, man. I don't want to do that.
Like,
man. I'm gonna drop him off somewhere in the woods, but a couple miles away. But like when I caught him, I let Ace see him, and Ace was barking at him. I was like, yeah. When you get older, your job is gonna be keeping these dudes up out of here, man, out of this backyard.
That's what Judge is doing for his grandparents, my parents, my parents right now. Killed 3 field mice yesterday. And it's just cool. Like, it's disgusting that he had a mouse in his mouth, but it's cool when you think of why he is doing what he is doing. He does have some Australian Shepherd in him, so it's kind of natural for him to kind of herd and whatnot. But he's like killing the mice and bringing it up to the porch because like he's trying to like feed my parents. Like he's trying to take care of my parents and protect them and feed them. And when you look at it from that perspective, it's real cool. We don't deserve dogs.
No, we don't. No, thank you, Judge. We good, man. We ate.
Yeah, you ain't gonna be looking my face anytime soon, buddy.
We good, man. We thanks, Judge. We'll pass on the dead mouse. We good. All right, let me get to the text box. Nope. I'll have to wait a couple minutes, and I'll get back to the text box. Thanks for the phone call, though, Rusty. Rusty and Turkey Man, appreciate your phone calls today. 865-255-03. Got some good stuff here on the text box about Tennessee baseball and college football. So we'll get to it here. Some great questions and comments. Stay with us. Be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help. Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
It's a beautiful day here in the Southeast for some baseball, SEC baseball. One thing I like about the SEC baseball tournament, it's one game. It's one game.
Was one game. Yesterday was single elimination. Now it turns to double elimination.
Well, they don't play like a series.
No.
That's what I meant.
No.
There's not a series like the best of 3 wins a series. So it has that NCAA basketball feel, that college football SEC week-to-week feel. Now, if you lose, or even if you're eliminated, if you're Tennessee, if you're Arkansas, you're Vanderbilt, you're Florida, Mississippi State, you know that you got bigger fish to fry. But still, my personal preference, man, I like the single and double elimination, man. Puts more pressure on teams, more sense of urgency on the teams. Let me get to the text box. This is probably a good question for you, Ben. Randy in San Antonio says, do you think Tony Vitello would have a different starting pitcher had South Carolina won? I like to think Tony said Buck Fama.
That's a good question. I don't know for sure one way or the other. I don't have a strong take one way or the other. If Tony would be starting somebody else today had Carolina won. I think, and this is me speculating, I think Will Heflin is starting today because he started on Friday and only threw about 60 pitches, and that's the range in which he typically throws. He throws 60 to 70 pitches, somewhere in that range, because most who have kept up with Tennessee baseball this season know that because of the type of pitcher that Will Heflin is, a guy who does not have overpowering stuff, teams start to figure him out late in the game, and that third time through the lineup is when teams start to get to him. So Tony and Frank Anderson, Tennessee's pitching coach, they like to have somebody ready to go once that lineup turns over a third time, and at the first sign of trouble, Heflin typically comes out, which typically leaves his pitch count around 60 to 70 pitches. So, and within those 60 to 70 pitches, Will Heflin is very efficient. He throws strikes, he pounds the zone, and he lets his defense work for him. So he doesn't get overtaxed when he pitches. So when he pitched at South Carolina on Friday in Game 2, he was only around 60 or so pitches when he got pulled from the game in I believe it was the 6th inning, which was 5 days ago, and sets up him to be good to go today. And why I think Will Heflin is starting today, and this is just my pure speculation, and why I like the move to start Will Heflin today, is A, you're not just conceding by going to the bullpen. I did think that Camden Sewell or Mark McLaughlin would start today. I thought Will Heflin would start tomorrow or Friday if Tennessee makes it that far. But I like it because it gives your team a sense of, okay, let's try to win it. Like, yeah, we're here. We're not going to do anything that's going to hurt us for next weekend, but let's put our best foot forward possible and try to win this opening game and then see what we can do from there. But not only that, if Tennessee can find a way to make it to Sunday's tournament title game, then Will Heflin's going to be ready to pitch, because that'll be on 4 or 5 days rest if he pitches on Sunday. And he, again, like I just illustrated, he doesn't throw a ton of pitches, and the pitches that he does throw, they're not pitches that require a ton of effort. He's very efficient in his pitches, so it allows you to come back on Sunday and have one of your starters all season long starting a title game. So I think maybe that's what went into the decision, if I had to guess. So I like that he's going with Will Heflin. And if I did have to guess, I think Will Heflin would have started against South Carolina or Bama. He pitched well against both. So I like the decision to start Will Heflin. Surprised that he's starting Will Heflin over a Camden Sewell or Mark McLaughlin, but I do like the decision the more that I've thought about it since they announced it last night.
Just beat Bama.
Just beat Bama. I think at the end of the day, as long as Tennessee's bats are going to be okay, and as long as one of Tennessee's pitchers in whatever situation just doesn't blow up on the mound, just doesn't have a ridiculous bad inning, a 6, 7, 8 run inning, Tennessee's going to be fine as long as the bats show up. And the bats have really started to come on over the last month or so. At the beginning of the season, Tennessee wasn't as much of a power hitting lineup. They got the job done kind of by any means necessary. Small ball, moving the runner over, some clutch hits here or there. But over the last month or so, as guys have gotten healthier and as the weather has gotten warmer, the bats tend to heat up, and that has been the case. And Tennessee has hit a ton of home runs over the last month or so, and I believe that resulted in Tennessee finishing third in conference play in home runs. So Tennessee's offense is hitting the ball pretty well right now, about as well as it is going to. So as long as they stay hot and have a good week, I think Tennessee has a chance to beat anybody.
Text box
regardless
time.
of who is pitching.
TL says, hey, Swain, it's illegal to trap and transport a wild animal like a chipmunk in the state of Tennessee. The TWRA takes it real serious and can fine you and take your hunting and fishing license. Since you mentioned on air, I don't want you to get in trouble with a wildlife violation. Well, I don't have a fishing and hunting license, so you got to worry about taking that. Even though one day I think I might want to get one, though. That hunting stuff seems very fun. Very, very fun. So wait a minute. You supposed to just let the chipmunks tear up your yard? That's what you're supposed to do? That makes no sense. So it's illegal to trap and transport. Is it illegal just to kill them? That better? Huh? That's weird to me. Thank you for that, TL. I'll have to look into that. Sorry, little Alvin, little Simon, little Theodore. Can't break no laws, man. You got to go. You got to go chipmunk heaven then, because I ain't about to get in trouble. It can be a $250 fine. You can use a kill trap. So I got to kill these chipmunks rather than letting them go somewhere else. Come on, man. I got little kids, man. I can't be out here killing chipmunks. We watched the chipmunks. ATL VFL says, can you smoke a chipmunk? I'm sure you can. People out here eating squirrels. I don't think it'd be worth it, though. So y'all telling me I have to kill a chipmunk instead of keeping it alive and letting him go somewhere else? Now, what sense does that make? ATL VFL says, Mike Farrell said, we are still in on Eric Gilbert. Any truth? Mike Farrell from Rivals, Vol Nation's favorite national recruiting guy. I'll be honest, man. I don't want Eric Gilbert unless he has matured. I don't think it's the right time. If Eric Gilbert is the same Eric Gilbert that he was a freshman year at LSU off the football field, and the things that I've heard is still in place. Like I'm sorry, I don't think Josh Heupel needs that. I don't think he needs that distraction.
No, a lot of Jay Hardy vibes there. That immense talent, and boy would he help upgrade the offense. But I don't know. He may upgrade the offense, but may be a problem in the locker room and be a bad example for others.
Yeah,
you already got rid of all your bad examples for the most part.
Yeah.
You don't need to bring in bad examples. And that is the one thing that I have appreciated about Josh Heupel so far. He has not sacrificed character for talent. He has avoided bringing in maybe some guys who are rough around the edges,
or allow them to stay.
Yes,
because he's drawn a line in the sand about what's going to happen from here forward, and what you were used to doing before is not going to be allowed. And some of the guys who actually wanted to stay
left
because Heupel's like, nah, man, I'm not going. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And if you're not with that, you need to go.
And I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it's going to pay off.
Yes, it will. And not only has he done that with players who transferred out, drawn a line in the sand, but he has not brought in guys who have questionable habits. Would have been easy to go out and get Jay Hardy. He's a heck of a talent, has a heck of a lot of potential, but may not be the best locker room fit right now. And sure would have been easy. And I think the last two coaches would have brought the potential in a heartbeat. And what was Butch Jones's downfall and what was Jeremy Pruitt's downfall? The culture. The culture ruined Butch Jones's tenure at Tennessee. It prevented him from doing more than winning back-to-back 9-win seasons. The culture is the reason Jeremy Pruitt's teams were so awful. That the teams had decent talent, but you couldn't get the most out of it because the culture was awful. And Josh Heupel's not sacrificing the culture for talent. And I appreciate that so much about him. And not to bring this up because of Tennessee baseball and what Tony's doing right now, but that's why Tony Vitello is so successful. Tennessee does not have the most talented roster in the SEC. It does not. Out of the top teams, out of the best teams, Tennessee has the fewest professional baseball players on its roster. Vanderbilt, Florida, South Carolina, the Mississippi schools, Arkansas, LSU probably, A&M probably have more professional talent on their rosters, but the difference is the culture. You heard Tony talk about it on Monday. The first question that Swain asked about kind of the goals, and Tony's answer, he discussed Max Scherzer, one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, Cy Young Award winner, World Series winner. He came and spoke to the team about just getting better every single day. And that is the mentality that Tony Vitello has adopted. His players, in turn, because Tony has set such a great example of what the culture should be, has established such a great culture. The players have followed suit. And there's not a team, although there are more talented teams, there's not a team in the entire country, not just the SEC. There's not a team in the entire country that plays harder than this Tennessee baseball team. And that's a fact.
That's culture.
That is not opinion. That is just simple fact. I would take this bunch against anybody. They could play the Atlanta Braves, the New York Yankees, the Dodgers right now, and they would absolutely scrap and claw and fight, and they would go into the game thinking that they are absolutely going to beat down that professional team that they're going to play. And like Swain just said, that is culture. The culture that Tony Vitello has set has led to the success that he is having. And the same can be said for Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes established a culture early on, a culture of hard work and no easy way out of doing anything, no skipping this to get to that. Like,
you don't skip steps in the process.
Yes, you're not going to take shortcuts.
You want to see a talented team that fails expectations, and you want to know why? It's culture. You want to see a team that doesn't have talent and exceeds expectation? It's culture. It's culture every time. All right, let's go back to the phones. We got two people waiting.
It's the difference in Butch Jones's 15-16 team and this year's Tony Vitello team. Good culture, Tony Vitello may win a national championship. Bad culture, Butch Jones's teams come up short. We got Vol Storm and Vol in Birmingham.
All right, Storm. Good morning.
Swain, I'm curious. When Ben comes back from Alabama, does he have any COVID quarantine procedures in place?
Yeah, he got to vaccinate. Yeah, he gonna need a special vaccination. I don't even think Johnson & Johnson makes it, or Pfizer.
I'm just curious if he had to like quarantine at home and sanitize every day. You know what the deal was there for the Swain event.
No, we're gonna go and buy all the hand sanitizer at Sam's and at Costco, and he has to do a hand sanitizing bath, just kind of like the ice bath that athletes do. He has to soak in the Perel for at least 15 minutes.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, you got to do that, man, before you allow back into the studio, because God knows what type of disease you're going to pick up down there. It may be
Not
worse.
to mention you lose IQ points every time you cross the state line.
Well, it's worse than COVID, man.
Well, I don't know if I lose IQ points. It's going to be losing good points with the good Lord, because the Bammers bring out the worst in me.
They do, man.
They bring out the worst in me.
Guys, before I get into college football as a whole, the difference between a coach that's confident in their ability and one that's not is the coach that's confident in his ability to coach and his ability to game plan is they're more worried about bringing in players that are a fit than worried about whether or not they're getting the top-rated all-star whatevers.
Yeah, I agree.
As far as the whole, college football transfers and whether or not that's going to create parity, I see it more as the rich getting richer.
Okay.
As long as there's only 4 playoff spots, you're going to continue to see the same 3 or 4 teams. Because now Alabama has the ability to, okay, well, this guy didn't work out. Well, I could bring him this transfer that has 3 years of eligibility, and he's already up to speed on the game.
They're already winning championships. I mean, what more can they do? I mean, I think
keep winning them.
Yeah, but I also think it gives the Oklahomas, the other schools who are they're rich. Alabama and Clemson, they just wealthy, right? It gives the schools who are rich, who are a step below Alabama, I think it gives them more of a chance.
Maybe.
But
I mean, we're continuing to see the same team in the playoffs.
And to me,
every year.
That's parity. Swain and I have a different view on parity. To me, parity is the teams that are continually in the mix for a championship every year, and it is Oklahoma, Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, LSU. Like it's those same teams every year. Heck, Washington has competed and been in the mix a couple of times. Penn State is usually in the conversation about potentially getting a playoff spot. Like, to me, that is parity, and the parity is not great because it is those same teams every single year. Even Notre Dame is in that mix. So that's how I view parity.
Whenever they brought in that 4th team, they always get blown out.
Mm-hmm.
But you go add a Juwan Mitchell, you go add a couple of dudes that have NFL talent that were starters on other, Wake Forest and Virginia. And you add those pieces, that they can give you a better chance.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that point. Like, I agree earlier with what you're saying about Oklahoma, like adding Eric Gray, adding Wanya Morris could be what gets Oklahoma over the hump and win that national championship. But that goes to where I guess you and I kind of see differently on what parity is, because like Oklahoma's already in the conversation. Like,
yeah,
they're already competing for a national championship, and just because they now have a piece to win it and do win it doesn't add to the parity of college football. To me, like, adding to the parity of college football would be a Virginia Tech or a West Virginia or a school of that nature, a Kentucky. Finally making it to the playoffs or something like that, because they've been able to go out and address those needs in the transfer portal.
Dude, for the last since 2014, no, hold on. You had Clemson in 16, Clemson in 18, Florida State in 13, Texas in 05. Every other year it's been SEC. It's been SEC winning championship. Or it's been Clemson. And so when you have one Florida State in 13, it's been the same schools over and over and over. And so we just have different degrees of how we look at parity. I mean, you guys are looking more so of like new teams that were not even mentioned as knocking on the door. I'm looking at it as, okay, a team has knocked on the door, but they haven't been able to win a championship because the Alabamas and the Clemson and the Ohio States have taken all those players from them out of high school, but they've been able to kind of get some of those players who are more mature, who developed, and add them to the roster to compete. So I think both definitions, I don't think they're wrong. It's just how you view it.
Yep. Guys, before I go, Swain, I'm glad to see that you finally figured out that having a dog is better than Ben. See you, bud!
See ya.
But now he has to deal with both of us. If Volstorm's statement was true, that means Swain would no longer have to deal with me and would have gotten rid of me.
Yeah, man, I don't know who's more needy, my dog or you. Like, you want me to unlock the door for you when they come in the morning? Golly, man. Can't you just get in, man?
Says the person who made me drop off wings the other day from a particular wing spot that I was by. Talking about needy. You begged me to bring you some.
I remember somebody volunteering and me just taking you up on that offer.
Also,
I remember.
How are you a wing place and you don't have any bone-in wings? How you only have boneless wings available? They're not wings if they're boneless. They're chicken nuggets.
Boy, man, terrible. Let's get to Vol in Birmingham. Vol in Birmingham, good morning, my friend.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's up?
Not much, man. I mean, you've been talking about Birmingham so much this morning, I figured I might as well call in.
Well, make sure you let Ben know where not to go so he's not in the drive-through line casually watching, Memphis Grizzlies play 15 minutes and not knowing where he is and not understanding that he needs to get up out of there. Please help him. Because Birmingham was on first 48.
If you say, hey, that is so true. Growing up, I had no clue that Birmingham was like one of the top, 15 deadliest cities in America. I was like, didn't know that. So yeah, Ben, you just stay in the Hoover area, you'll be all right.
I know the bad parts of Birmingham. It's like northeast, isn't it? Like there's the downtown area, and then what's the road that I'll be coming in on from like Chattanooga towards Birmingham?
Well, you're gonna be coming in on I-65.
Yes.
Down, or you'll be
20. I thought it was 24.
No, 65 is coming from Huntsville, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You're gonna be coming from what is it? 459.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah,
but
459.
There's that. It goes right through the middle of Birmingham, and downtown Birmingham. All the nice stuff is on one side, and then isn't like the bad part on the other side.
Yeah, you start getting over next to Legion Field and stuff like that. You just need to turn around, or like Swain said, look, man, there's certain parts of this country that when you see a red light, you just kind of roll through it.
Just roll through it. Don't stop.
Just roll through it, man.
Don't stop.
Yeah, don't come to a complete stop in some of these places.
Yeah. And I'm not just saying that just because, I'm saying that because I had a family member that stopped at a stop sign and had AK-47s pointed at him.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Well, I'm staying with Vol in Birmingham this week, so I'll be good.
Man,
Come
Vol
on
in Birmingham
man.
married, man. He got to get clearance from that.
Okay, so.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
I'll stay in the
Look at Vol in Birmingham over there. Yeah. You come on.
Yeah.
You ain't talked to your wife yet. You got to get the green light from wifey, man. You over here trying to tell Ben he can come stay, and he ain't told wifey yet.
Ben's come to stay with us. Who is Ben? Yeah, no,
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Uh-huh. But well, I was calling to talk baseball, and I'll get to that. But I like the direction that Hype is going in. I think he's done a really good job. You were talking football on the transfer portal, and he definitely is showing that he wants to win now. He's showing urgency that he's like, look, I got to fill these holes. I got to do what I got to do so we can start winning. But you're talking about the playoffs and the same teams in it every year. It's going to be hard to catch them until I guess they either expand the playoffs or, certain coaches start retiring just because they've just got such a head start with stockpiling talent. And transfer portal or not, they're still going to be loaded with talent, and they just keep doing that every single year. So it's going to be hard to beat anybody else when it's just 4 teams in there.
Hard to disagree.
I mean, they just got so much. It's just going to be hard to.
It's still going to be hard.
Yeah, it'll still be hard. But college, I mean, even the 14 playoff is flawed as it is. College football is flawed in terms of how it crowns a national champion, and I've mentioned this several times on the show over the last couple of years. But college football is the only sport of any sport in the world in which at the beginning of each season, every team in the sport doesn't have a chance to win a championship. Memphis
You're right.
could go undefeated, and they're not making the playoffs. UCF could go undefeated, which they did, and they're not making the playoffs. And look, I don't think UCF or Memphis would beat an Alabama or a Clemson or an Ohio State in a playoff, but to me, they at least deserve a chance. That's Cincinnati. If it would have gone undefeated, like, it deserves a chance to play in the playoff. I don't think that they would win it. I don't think that they would beat the teams in it, but it's ridiculous to me that at the beginning of each season, every team in the sport doesn't have a realistic chance of winning a championship because there are so many non-Power 5 teams that could go undefeated, have a great season, and they're not going to make the playoffs as it currently sits at 4. So that's why I'm a fan of extending it to 6 or 8 teams, just so that you can get those potential Cinderella stories in, and they can potentially knock off an Alabama or an Ohio State, because how cool of a story would that be if UCF does get into the playoffs and they knock off one of those big-time schools? I mean, that's why we love March Madness and the NCAA tournament so much. You could get something similar in college football.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with you. I'm definitely a proponent of expanding the playoffs for sure. But getting to baseball, so I was very surprised with who they went with starting today. I thought we would see a midweek guy. And I guess that kind of showed me that he's really kind of going after this SEC tournament, because I thought he would kind of play for next week, but it seems more like, with who he's starting today, that he's definitely going for it.
I think he's doing both.
In my opinion.
No, I agree. I think he's trying to do both, because you go back and you listen to the interview that we had with him on Monday. I asked him kind of his thoughts on navigating the SEC tournament and kind of managing his pitching staff. And, I mean, he flat out said we have a decent feel, but to tax Chad Dallas and Blade Tidwell too much at this point would be unwise. So there's your talking point as to kind of setting them up for next week's regional. They're not going to overtax Chad Dallas. You're not going to overtax Blade Tidwell, because their last several appearances, they've thrown near 100 pitches. They have gone deep into games, and they could benefit from some rest. So don't be surprised if you see those guys come out of the bullpen at some point this week just to get some work and get some innings under their belt. That way they're not rusty next weekend. But in that same quote, he also said that Will Heflin is a little bit of an asterisk because we decided to go to the bullpen early in Game 2 against South Carolina, and also he's always so efficient with his pitches. I think he's available to do whatever we need immediately. So I kind of think you get the best of both worlds, and you're not going to overtax Blade Tidwell or Chad Dallas. I think you won't see Sean Hunley too much, kind of preserve his arm as well, Redmond Walsh. But a guy like Will Heflin, who only throws 60 to 70 pitches as it is, and he's efficient with those pitches, you can start him today and set the tone right for the week. And then if you get to Sunday and are playing in the title game, you're starting one of your starters and one of the pitchers you trust the most in the title game. So you kind of get the best of both worlds of trying to win it, but also trying to preserve arms for next week as well.
Yeah, and that's what I thought would happen. I figured he would, start our regular starts Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if we got to Friday, then you would see the regular rotation. But it's very interesting. Do you know who's starting on the hump for Alabama? Is it the Smith kid?
I don't know. I don't know. I tried to see if any Alabama reporters had tweeted it. But
okay,
Don't your friends know? Family friends? Don't they know?
I think they mentioned that their second guy isn't Smith their second guy.
Yeah, Smith.
Yeah.
Smith's their Saturday guy. He's got good stuff, but
Tennessee beat them.
with Alabama, if you can get through their first pitcher, then you're good.
Yeah.
If we can get through Smith, it's all going to come down to our bats because I think our pitching can get us there today. Because Alabama can hit the ball, so as long as we can just go, hit with them, then we're going to be all right on that end.
Yeah, and they don't have a good bullpen. So, like you said, if you can just chase the starter early in the game, 4th, 5th, 6th inning, somewhere in there, then you'll have a chance to win it late. As long as again, like I said earlier, one of your pitchers doesn't blow up in any one inning. I am curious to kind of see the only thing that worries me about today is you are going to have a different mindset from each team. Alabama is on the outside.
They're all out going for it.
Yep, they are all out trying to go for it because they're on the outside looking in regards to the NCAA tournament. According to D1 Baseball, they are one of the first 5 teams out of the NCAA tournament, and yesterday's win over South Carolina will help them a ton, but they could really use a win today and as many wins as they can get this week to make the NCAA tournament. So they're going to be playing for their lives, literally, because this may be the last week of the season for them. And while I think Tennessee will still play hard and compete, again, I just got done saying that I'd take their competitive nature over anybody in the country. It is a different game for Tennessee. The stakes are just simply different for Tennessee than they are Alabama. Tennessee's focused on regionals next week. They're going to host a super regional if it can get out of regionals, and Alabama's fighting for its life this season. So I'll be curious to see if that factors into anything today.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll be over there today. If I see you, Ben, I'll say hello. But
please do.
If you see Tony V, tell him, hey, look, put it all on the line for this one game, and then if you lose the rest of the week, that's fine. But this one game, you got to win.
Got to win this one. Thank you, man. Got to win this one, man. Something about losing to Alabama, man. I don't care what sport it is. Just something about them. Ugh. Got to get this win today.
Turkey Man has called back in because he has some tips for you with your chipmunk problem.
All right. What you got, Turkey Man?
Hey, brother. Hey, the gentleman was right on what the law said, and the reason being, when you transport from one place to the other, then if that animal has disease, it might transfer into somewhere else. And that's one of the big keys is, like rabies or other things, distemper, so on and so forth.
It should be okay if it's a chipmunk, right? I should get a pass if it's a chipmunk. No pass?
Well,
they want the rabies in my backyard?
If you had an open then...
I just have to bust a cap in them.
No tail, no say, nobody knows. You can't do things, but that's the reason why you can't trap it and transport it.
I got you.
And that's why.
That makes sense.
I mean, that's why. And the other thing is on your dog. He'll, but he
likes digging.
Yeah, buddy, and then you encourage him to. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna help Daddy."
Yeah, he likes
digging him out.
Yeah, he likes digging. I've been correcting him every time I see him doing it.
If you're going to have to discharge him, they make those bigger mouse traps and put some peanut butter on it. And,
I caught him yesterday.
Well, he called me after a while, and I said, "What to do with him?"
What'd you say, Turkey Man?
I said, "Call me after a while, and I'll see what to do with him."
Okay. All right, Turkey Man. Turkey Man, I'm not eating him, man, so you can have him if you want to eat him. I'm not doing that.
Only Volstorm.
I'm not eating no damn chipmunk. I'm open to that, I think. Make sure my life insurance is intact. But I'm open to eating some bear. I'm not eating no damn chipmunk, man.
Some added insight on Will Heflin starting against Alabama today real quick before we hit break. And he could also potentially start game 1 of the regional because he bounces back quicker after short rest than Chad Dallas does.
Let's go.
So
I just want to be Bama, man.
And if Tennessee feels good about Will when he was with us on Monday, that yes, they want to set up for regional play, make sure things are good to go, and they're not gonna risk anything as it relates to next weekend. They're not going to put themselves in a compromising spot. But when the bullets start flying in Hoover and you get down into the dugout and that competitive, how Tony Vitello manages these next couple of weeks, because to this point, Tony Vitello has not had postseason success. He got Tennessee to the postseason in 2019, his second year, a great accomplishment, and Tennessee lost a close one to Auburn that same year, and only one postseason appearance as a head coach. So there's a difference in coaching in the regular season and the postseason. So I'll be curious to see how Tony Vitello manages these next couple of weeks, because that is the next step for him in terms of proving himself as a head coach, is having postseason success, and that's the one thing he doesn't have on his resume. Not necessarily his fault, because COVID has gotten in the way.
Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Stay with us.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Good morning, Swain Event family. As you already know, I'm your go-to realtor when you are considering buying, selling, or investing in East. I have several Keller Williams real estate partners in your area. I've developed relationships with realtors I know I can trust to help you with your needs. So give me a call, Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Home social distancing and staying at home on workdays. It's an easier time to take care of home maintenance items that you feel are necessary. And we've put new safety precautions in place, like wearing gloves, avoiding physical contact, new sanitation protocols, and limiting time in your home. We're here for you.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Two p.m.
2 p.m.
2:30, so you can get there on time.
Yes.
You'll be all right, man. You get there just in time. You're gonna gain an hour. Well,
so it's still starting at the same time. That's
right.
Quickest game of the week. It starts
you'll be cutting it close. So as soon as you leave out of here, it shouldn't be that much traffic at all. Getting out of hours to Birmingham.
Yeah, but now that they've got that road that kind of takes you around Birmingham, I don't know what it's called, but there's like a bypass. Hoover Met Complex is a go by the coffee shop and get me some coffee on the way out.
I got some coffee. I'll save you. I got some up.
I did that yesterday.
All right,
I'm already packed up and loaded. My best bet, I'll be getting there probably right as a couple minutes before first pitch, or as first pitch is being thrown, or in the first inning or so, which is good because since it's on Central Time to do the show, it's 6 to 9 Central, so I'll be up at like 5:30.
Yeah.
Hey, I've never seen Tennessee play in the Hoover Met before, but it's cool for me because obviously loving baseball the way that I do, and Huntsville only being when going to Birmingham and Hoover.
Yeah, you know, North Huntsville.
Yeah, Northeast. So pitching at Vanderbilt, we drove down and watched Tim pitch in the SEC tournament, and have gone down with never played in the tournament. So that's why today will be the first time I've ever seen them play in the and having a chance to win it all. Pretty cool. I'm excited. It'll be a fun week. Hopefully Tennessee can make it more exciting.
Do you really want to give your all for Tennessee, Ben?
Why are you looking at me like that?
Do you want to give your all for Tennessee? Yes or no? Sure that Rush Probst is going to be in Birmingham visiting his other family. I need you for you to get with him. Get him on record again. Make a copy of it. And then we need to send this to
that
level.
As a legend, though.
This is like this is Steven Seagal stuff right here, man.
Steven Seagal.
Like you'll be doing college football a service, and especially Tennessee. Do you accept the mission?
I could go down as a true hero, not only as football legend.
You really could be.
I'm down. Just
he did that on Independence Day. He was prepared to give his life for fighting the alien. I know, right? Crazy. But this will be close to serving your country.
I can scratch that itch.
Yeah, this will be this weekend, man. I got a recorder right there, voice recorder. You know, you can make it happen. All right, let me hit the text box before we wrap up today's show. Custody for right now. That's why Ben, you got to go break them out. You got to go. You don't have to be the better team. Just be better team that day. I'm all for the 2007 Boise State, Oklahoma type match.
I'm in my home state.
Yeah. Not saying it won't help the top team, but it will help other top teams as well. Jonathan 77 says having 16 to 20 teams with equal talent and as Bama, Clemson, UGA, Ohio State, Oklahoma, other teams are one of being equal or equivalent. There's no parity in basketball then. If that's it. ATL VFL says Swain needs to take his pressure washer to Ben when he gets back. Yeah, man, you're gonna be dirty, man. You're gonna be dirty.
I know the one good thing is I don't know if it's a good thing or not. It's actually not a good thing. If Tennessee doesn't make it to the weekend, I'm driving from Birmingham to Memphis. Then I'm going to Memphis for the weekend. So if I go to Memphis for the weekend, go watch Ja hang 50 on Spider's head on Saturday night.
Somebody from Memphis will need to, because you're entering Tennessee.
That's true.
And so there's restrictions about someone from Alabama entering Tennessee. If there's not any restrictions, need to be. You need to be pressure washed.
And if I go to Memphis from Birmingham, I will have gone.
What needs to happen for you to be able to go to a Grizzlies game?
Tennessee to lose.
Which game?
What do you mean? Which game?
Well, which game?
If Tennessee loses to Alabama, then I think Tennessee plays the loser of Mississippi State, Florida, and if that would
for Friday.
Yes, so they could either go 0-2, lose today, lose tomorrow, they're out, or somehow split these next 2 days and then lose for a second time on Friday.
For you to be able to watch the Grizzlies in person. That's all that extra stuff. I'm just talking about the Memphis Grizzlies game.
Well, I'm not going for the Grizzlies game. I'm going to see my family. We're having a family shindig in good old Munford, Tennessee this week. Sorry, family. I'm all for it. I hope Tennessee starts winning or keeps winning.
Oh, man, this is great. This is great.
Yeah.
So you're going to be sitting there. Oh, because you're a capital J journalist now.
Yep.
You don't really care who wins.
Nope. No.
Well, because family's important, right?
I don't want to see them more than I want to see Tennessee win the SEC tournament.
Why would you want to see Tennessee win a tournament if you're a capital J journalist?
Because it would provide great content for VolQuest, and all I care about is great.
Interesting, man. That is very interesting. Other McKee says, is Ja Ben's family?
Yes.
Oh, definitely, man. Ben, I want to see you come back and bet that if Grizzlies beat the Jazz in the first round, that you will slit your eyebrows like John Morant.
Who am I going to make that bet with? So if the Grizzlies do it, you'll slit your eyebrows?
Well, both
exactly.
I think they're going to win. I'm the one who said they're going to win. I have more confidence than you.
And they're playing the 1 seed, the team that set the record for most 3-pointers averaged make in a per game.
That
in
was
a
during
season.
the season. I have more confidence in the Grizzlies beating the Jazz than you do.
Here's the real thing why we can't have that bet.
Why
Because
not?
You like to rain on my parade when my teams do well. You root against Memphis. You hate the Grizzlies because of me. So when they lose, because he's severe.
No.
That's how a bet works.
This is how you can guarantee that I will be cheering for your team now. Because I didn't support you. Now I want to support you. I want your team to win. Because if they win against the Jazz, then you have to do Ja Morant eyebrows.
Split are not going to look good.
Do it for the culture.
No, and all that would.
See what kind of friend I am. I will do it with you. If the Jazz lose to the Grizzlies in the first round, we're going.
Married. What do I have to lose?
See, that's what I'm saying. You want to do it? Let's
Sure.
do it. All right. If the Grizzlies win, 1 slit in the eyebrow like Ja Morant.
Yeah. Why can't we go with Nelson? Like a wig of dreads. Why can't we do that?
Nelson, that's corny, man. That's like elementary school.
Finally shaved my head completely.
Like bald?
Bald.
Like Mr. Clean?
My eyebrows slit.
See, Mac, y'all too grown to be doing all of that. We don't have a real job.
I'm going to fit in with Brent Hubbs and Austin Price with my eyebrows being slit.
You bringing swag to the VolQuest, man.
Well,
They've
I
been
don't know.
missing that.
This may be a good idea.
They've been missing swag.
Recruits are going to be in town next month.
See? They're like, hey, I want to interview the white boy with the slit. I want to interview with the white boy that got the Ja Morant slit. He's more on my level. I'm gonna give you all the goodies and tell you exactly where I'm going. And you're gonna have all the tea, all the inside knowledge.
There was
more important than Austin Price.
There was a recruit that I was talking to last week, and we got to talking about J. Cole, and we talked about the new J. Cole album for like 5 minutes.
Imagine with the Ja Morant slit, what type of access you'll get and how comfortable you'll make the recruits.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You might take Mike Furrell's job. 865-255-03. You might be a national guy by then, man. Grizzlies tattoo. Yeah, Ben, why don't you get a Grizzlies tattoo?
That's more reserved for like if they win a championship. Swag Quest.
That's right. It ain't VolQuest, it's Swag Quest, according to Joe and Augusta.
See, Mac, if you want to purchase the gold grill for me, I would absolutely rock a gold grill if the Grizzlies made it to the Western Conference
Too
Finals.
much, man, because you gotta go get a mold and all that stuff. That's way too much. I used to have those. I wore bottoms in 05.
I've low key always wanted a gold grill.
Yeah, we had a ton of dudes on our team that wore bottoms.
Like AK.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I wore bottoms
Like
in 05, man. It was kind of uncomfortable. So.
I would rock it. They look uncomfortable. It looks like it would hurt. But see, Mac, if you want to fund. And Nelson said the same thing at the same time. So Nelson and C-Mac, if you all want to fund me wearing a gold grill if the Grizzlies make it to the Western Conference Finals.
No, we should do it if they win the series. There's no way they're going to make it to the finals.
C-Mac, there's a reason I have 2 jobs. C-Mac, McKee, you got 2 jobs. GTFOH. C-Mac, there's a reason I got 2 jobs.
I'll donate to that fund.
The Gold Grill Fund?
Ben McKee Gold Grill Fund. I'll let to see that. Because then you can take it out. Like with a slit eyebrow, you can't just.
I'm stuck with it.
Until it grows back in a couple days. I used to have a slit in my eyebrow back in the day when I was young.
Nelson suggests
crisscross style.
A big bear tat with a grill on your chest.
It's time to go. Play the outro music. It's time to get out of here.
Outro music plays by itself, but I'll play different music.
You're going to get a Grizzlies bear tattoo with grills. It's time to go.
Like somebody else Nelson knows, he said.
In 05, gold was like $700 an ounce. Now it's $1,900. Gold dropping a little bit right now.
Nelson said a pop-in grill from the mall.
Technically, gold is at $1,899.
You trying to show off your gold knowledge?
A little bit.
Hey, there's the outro.
A little bit. It's time to go, man.
All right, quit talking.
With that comment from Nelson, it's time to go, man.
If I don't make it by first pitch, it's because you keep
All right,
talking.
go. Swain Event. Fueled by that and barbecue. Time for Ben to get to Birmingham without catching any diseases. Tomorrow, same time, 7 a.m. Have a great day.